All right. I figured out a cool thing I've always wanted to try. Uh, Converting the like beating effect that happens when you have two notes that are close together. How to turn that into actual like a rhythm with MIDI. So it uses this PeakFreak by Toby Bear. There's not really a website. You just have to get it off of plugins for free. Um, but yeah, so anyway, I've downloaded that, installed it, tried it out. I tried several plugins that purport to do this, but this is the one that actually worked. So we're gonna try and do something with it just to start with. I guess I'll use 3xos to make the sound that we trigger it with. Put it here. Turn off the other two oscillators. Maybe add a little bit of an envelope. And put it down in the lower octaves. So here's one note. Here's two notes. And you can hear the beating. I think what I'm gonna do is actually have two so I can tune one. I mean, I guess I could just have two oscillators and tune them. Let's try that. Put this on the same. Okay, so I'm gonna route this to the next one over. Here's the PeakFreak. I think that's what it's called. Let's add PeakFreak. Okay, tiny little interface. Sorry about that. I don't know how to like enlarge it. Um. Okay, so we're gonna route the audio here, and I'll turn it down in the master, so we shouldn't hear anything. And actually, you click this little output thing. It's definitely muted now, and so the only way to hear anything would be to turn this up. All right, so PeakFreaks, it shows its little input audio level here, and then the L and R, it's not left and right. That's length and release. So that's kind of like length is like the hold parameter, and release is release. These four sliders on the side of this box, it's like the low, the high amplitude, and the low, the high frequency. So you want to narrow it down, and then over here it's got the channel and note to send. So it's going to send a C3, and I'm just going to use it has to be something that receives MIDI, so none of the built-in synths are going to work unless I use a MIDI loopback, and I don't feel like doing that. So what's a synth that has a drum sound? Let's have Surge has some drum sounds, doesn't it? Percussion. Here's a snare. Okay. Forgot to. So I'm gonna put this over here. Maybe I'll shrink it down. Don't really need to look at it. And this needs a MIDI out. So we're going to give it an output port, and this is going to have the same input port. This is why I couldn't use FL's built-in stock stuff, because they don't have this tab. Okay, so that's set up. And so we're just going to make the oscillator have let's do that. And then we got to look at the PeakFreak to see what's happening here. So it turns yellow when it's working. If I turn it too low, it will. See? It's like the high. It's like a high pass and a low pass. So we want that. All right. So now does this? Yeah. I guess I need. So the problem is trying to find the adjusting maybe the input gain. I ended up deciding that I needed to just put a distortion on the input sound. So I'm going to use a squeeze. See, because we'll turn this up so you can hear it better. And maybe if I move the frequency slider up into the higher end and just restrict it to that, why aren't we getting get more gain? Okay. Well, that's weird. There we go. Okay. Okay. So that was a fun little excursion. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Like, I was just bored, but now you can be bored too.